Hi and Assalamu alaikum everyone. Today we will be continuing with biological molecules, monosaccharides. So let's get started. The second monosaccharide that we will study is fructose. Now the main difference between fructose and glucose is that glucose was an aldose sugar, but fructose is a ketose sugar. This suggests that it contains the ketone functional group, and that functional group is this. Okay, it contains carbon double bonded with an oxygen, and then you have R groups on both the sides. Now let's identify this in our open chain structure of the fructose first. Okay, now if we look at this structure, we find that we have carbon oxygen double bond here. Okay, so this is the main carbon, the main functional group carbon, and then we have carbon double bonded to oxygen. Then we have this R group, CH2OH, and this the second R group. This is how this is a ketone, fructose. Okay, now let's make ring structures out of this open chain structure. Now similarly to glucose, okay, we also have an oxygen bridge here. However, the oxygen bridge is now from the second carbon, which is the functional group carbon, okay, to carbon 5. And as a result, what happens is this carbon oxygen double bond now is non-existent, and now what we have is we have an OH group. Okay, we have an OH group here with the second carbon, and everything else is unchanged. Now let's make the ring structure from this. Now we remember the rules for the ring structure. Okay, everything to the right, these things, okay, these things, they go below, and everything to the left, okay, this goes above. However, okay, now there is exceptions. This thing, okay, this is always above. Carbon number 6 is always above. However, with the second this carbon, okay, this carbon, the functional group carbon, we have this group attached, and we have an OH group. Now according to the rules, the OH group should be above, right? But there's an exception here. The OH group can interchange its position with this carbon number 1. Okay, so that's why we have two structures, as you can see I've drawn. In one structure we have carbon 1 above, okay, and in second structure we have carbon 1 below. Okay, now let's make this structure. Now we have the first of all, let's look at carbon number 3. Now at carbon number 3 we have the OH on the left side. That means the OH here will be above. Okay, in both of them it will be above. And now, and in the carbon number 4 we have the OH to the right side. That means it should be below, right? It should be below here, okay, below the ring. And now carbon number 5, we have carbon number 6 wala things attached to them, so we just write them as it is and always above the ring. Okay, CH2OH, and similarly here CH2OH. Now let's come to the unique part in both of these structures. That's the placement of carbon number 1 and the OH group. Now let's say I place the OH group below the second carbon, and I place the carbon number 1 and its groups here above. okay, CH2OH. Now this thing that we just formed, this is given a special name, and this is called similarly to the glucose where we have OH downwards. Okay, so in this case we also have the OH down the ring, okay, below the ring, so we call it alpha fructose. And in the second diagram, okay, let's complete this. We have carbon number 1 below, okay, and then we have OH above. Okay, now this thing will be called, as you may have guessed, beta fructose. These are the ring structures, okay, shown by fructose. Okay, this is very important for the exams. Okay, so now let's look at galactose. Although it's not in the syllabus, but it is good to know about that. Okay, know something about this. And it's very similar to glucose, okay, as you can see here, but with one minute difference. Okay, let's see the difference. The difference is in the fourth carbon. In the glucose, we had the OH group on the right side of the open chain structure and the H group on the left side. This caused in glucose on the fourth carbon the OH group to be below the ring and the H to be above the ring. Okay, now here in galactose we have reversed the order, and now the OH is on the left side and the H is on the right side. Now this impacts the ring structures in a way that now on carbon 4, instead of having the OH below the ring, we have the OH above the ring in both these cases. Okay, this is the structure of galactose. Everything else remains the same. Okay, so accordingly we name this alpha galactose and we name this beta galactose. It's very similar, okay, but this minute difference makes it unique from the glucose. Okay, finally we come to the last part of monosaccharides. That's the role of monosaccharides. Okay, now as written, they are oxidized through respiration in all the body cells to provide energy, okay, for different cellular activities. Now energy means they provide ATP. Okay, and what can be examples of cellular activities? Can be DNA replication, can be endocytosis, it can be active transport, it can be nerve impulse transmission, it can be muscle contraction, etc. Okay, now the second thing, okay, they are used in the making of important polymer compounds. Polymer is anything that's made up of many small units or small monomers. The main polymers that we'll be studying are condensation polymers, which are formed by removal of water molecules. Okay, we'll study that soon. Okay, now examples of these polymer compounds include starch. Okay, starch, glycogen, and cellulose. They are all polymers of glucose. Now in this case, glucose is the monomer, and that's forming these polymers. Okay, and they are condensation polymers. Okay, the second example can be DNA or RNA. Okay, and from the ribose sugar and deoxyribose sugar. Okay, for DNA we have deoxyribose sugar. Okay, and for RNA we have ribose sugar. We will see that later as well. Okay, that is it for today. I will meet you in the next video. Till then, take care. Thank you for listening.